We initialized all these things. Set starting state by name, set starting state by type. So our current group is set to null. So it's this onCreate method, I guess. That's. Wait, is onCreate not getting called? Well, if onCreate's not getting called, then this stuff is all sorts of screwed. So where's the initialize getting called from? The initialize is getting called from here. Entity logic controller component begin play. Logic is null. Default fatsack AI. Alright, so the first thing is begin play is getting called. Alright, so our base logic is this. In logic equals new object, base logic get class. Well, what is this? This is this. This is our fatsack entity. Our parent is our Dashkin entity actor 0, and this is a completely separate thing. And this is the player, it looks like. Base logic is this, so yeah, we get player logic object. So begin play is being called out of order? Alright, so this is creating the fatsack proxy thing. Begin play is being called inside of this. Well, how come this was working before? Or are we calling set parent? Like set parent, the fatsack AI is getting set here. So begin play gets called before set parent. So where does set parent get called? Set parent gets called inside of the begin play of this proxy actor. It's called inside of post setup. And post setup is being called inside of all these other things. So we actually need to call on our logic object. It's not really begin play that we want to do these things. It's like this post setup on create sort of thing, because we need to actually, it was probably getting deferred somehow. Well, I should do something like am playing and we should do something like this. Because our logic controller component is just wrong. It's something must have definitely changed with the latest update with Unreal, which is to be expected. So it should be something pretty simple that we're missing, and I think it's just begin play was getting deferred somehow in the previous version of the engine, and we weren't handling it properly. So basically we're doing like if, because this set parent stuff and like this construction stuff is kind of separate from when this thing enters the stage and not. So basically like we want onCreate to be called, but we want it to be called basically either. Yeah, so I want like if not in playing right here. This is what it should be. because we want onCreate to be called properly. And that's part of why I've got, like, I'm not using the begin play event for some of the stuff inside of like our AI and other systems, is I need to very tightly control when this happens for our actor life cycles, because if all of our references aren't set up, like I don't want to have to deal with that crap. I just want, like, this thing gets called when everything is set up properly. And it's probably just me not knowing Unreal super well and having to kind of put my own little shims in there to fix order of operations. But a lot of the engines try not to enforce order of operations on things. So, you know. Avatar pick is grayscale? Oh, I see what you mean. That's a good point there, Twitch Warpy. I'll work on that. I should color my avatar pick, as it looks like it's offline. Alright, so onCreate's getting called, and you can see our little dude is now digging around. Let's see if he can run. He's just so tiny now that we scaled him properly. Yeah, so he can jump. And can he run? Run for me, fat sack. Do it. You have a chance. He's just gonna sit there and dig like a fool. Yeah, okay, he can run. Damn, he runs really quick for when he's tiny. I thought that was on purpose. Alright, cool. So we fixed the AI, which is good. Fixing AI is important. You thought that was on purpose? The grayscale? Well, it's grayscale because, like, let me see if I can actually pull this up. This might take just a second. Jesus. This is ridiculous. Alright. It says working on this previous project a while ago. Let me just pull it up. It's in Unity, so it has to, like, I gotta go pull up a whole bunch of crap. Let's see if it even works. Oh no, it's got that awful music. But basically, this is what happens when I don't have any art. Is I make really crappy games like this. It's there's another level here. Let me see if it's somewhere around here. The other level is better. How the hell do you get to other levels inside of Unity? It's been months and months since I messed around with this thing. Where are my levels? Is it in build settings? God, it's amazing how much knowledge just flies out of your mind as soon as you leave a project for any length of time. I'm just like, how do I set the level that I'm like? Is it open scene? Yeah, okay, it's like scenes. No, it wasn't the scene, it was the I've got this all controlled by scripts. So it's like project 1 I'm trying to remember. It's like punchball, assets, scripts, external assets, scripts, start.lua. Yeah, okay, so it was. I literally have to go edit this Lua script file, and then I can actually pop open the other level. Let me see if it works. You could play this game against this guy, and looks like. So just real simple stuff. He's beating me. His AI is totally stuck. Oh no, he's not. Yeah, that's where the avatar picture comes from. This just awful, awful old game I was working on. I suck at my own game. Anyway, back to a game that looks a lot better. He was just biding his time. Yeah. Yeah, that game was basically I was getting my legs in Unity, which I didn't know at all, pretty much. And that's kind of the level of art that I can create, which is awful. But I had to pretty much start over when we started working on this project, and that's why it took kind of until just this past month to actually start getting anything done. It's all just boilerplate code for setting up stuff in Unreal. Okay, so we have set our character heights properly in Unreal. So excellent, that works now. Let's fix other little bugs. So the camera zoom I think is wrong at the moment. Like I set like a maximum and a minimum for the zoom on the camera, and I'm not seeing it move properly. Like it should have basically snapped the ortho width to 3000 there, as opposed to what it did do. So let's go to our player proxy actor. So we have follow, unpack camera, calculate Z allowance, Z so velocity, camera position, camera width. Yeah, so it's like okay, so it looks like I'm also going to have to snap things here, so it's going to be something like this. I need to put a check right in here for the current camera width and height and snap it if it's too far out. Like we're snapping the wanted, but we need to snap the other as well. Yeah, you can kind of see with that previous game there why I'm so happy to be working with somebody as talented in the art department as Adam, because it makes a big damn difference having a game that looks cool. And it's a lot more motivating to work on a game that looks cool as well. So I think that should go ahead and solve our camera issue. And also pretty nice working in Unreal where we have all the things. And yeah. I don't know if you guys saw, but the Unreal 4.16 drop is what we took just yesterday. And if you read any of the release notes for Unreal, they've got some pretty cool stuff in that update. Like the fog stuff is a big thing Adam wanted to use for the atmosphere. So now we can have cool fog in places, and that's going to be really helpful in the background. They've also got stuff like Nintendo Switch support and all that, and who knows? More platforms as options for us is definitely going to make us think, where are we going to release the game? And who knows? Maybe it'll be on the Nintendo Switch too, right? Like I could see a platformer like this working real well on kind of a more mobile game console, right? Because it's not like super multiplayer, so you could definitely play it offline. It's only got a couple buttons, so that would be pretty easy, and it'd be easy to jump into and play a few things and jump around and have fun, right? That could work. And we don't have like a whole bunch of violence and killing and everything, so. Okay, so the camera snapped. Excellent. So camera snapping works properly. Cool. Very nice. So let's take a look at what else we got on the menu for today. So a whole bunch of little editor improvements. So I'm going to take like a couple minutes here, go get like some small snack on, and then we're going to jump into a few editor improvements. So I'll be back in a couple minutes. Well, I think we'll get back to work here. So what exactly are we looking at? It's the Paper 2D's editor for stuff. Yeah, okay. So it's basically like we've got this log here. When we edit the collision, what we want to be able to do is this like snaps all vertices to a pixel grid. We actually want to snap it to like more than that. We would like to is this a box? Yeah, we'd like to do is be able to just snap the pieces that we have selected to a little bit more than just what we got. We want to snap them to like the closest. I want to take all these vertices, and instead of having like their x at like negative 500, 17, it should just like I want to snap to just like 500. Stuff like that. So like snap to nearest 100, snap to nearest 10. That's what we'd like. So you just like highlight these things and then snap them all to like whole numbers and everything. And I think what we want to do is basically add a little button up here. So we want to change this snap to pixel grid so it snaps verts to the grid, and we grab like our position grip snap value. So let's see exactly what we can do. We're searching for snaps all vertices to pixel grid. Because that exists somewhere in this code base. We just have to go find it and then clone it. Okay, so here it is. So let's open it for edit, and let's add a new button in here. So it's probably easier if we just have like snap to 100, snap to 10, snap to 50. snap to 100. Yeah, snap to 100. Snap to 50, snap to 10. So let's do this. Snap all vertices to 50, snap all vertices to 10. So let's see, where is this snap all verts? So the question is, where is this snap all vertices thing? This command info, so I'll have to search for it. Oh god, look at all this crap. This is part of... Slate is just such a pile of crap. Slate's the UI for Unreal. It's just... Well, it's not a pile of crap, it's just a pile that I don't like. And it's mainly because it has this weird declarative syntax, which is not nice to deal with. And you have to just a lot of code to do anything. Like I want to add a button and I have to like do all this stuff. And it just seems so unnecessary. It's just so much boilerplate you have to do to get anything done. And if you're going to have boilerplate, sure, fine, I get it. But having boilerplate spread across like 7 different files is just like, what in the hell? And that really also shows I can complain about anything. Should just make a YouTube series that's just clips of me ranting about different things. And like you could probably even find duplicate episodes. Where I argue one side and then the next one where I argue the other, because my opinion has changed overnight. Alright, so we need to make these, the complainanation. Quality entertainment. Alright, so what is this thing doing? It's saying, okay, grab all the shapes, round to int. controls coding is yeah. Well, it's just there's a lot of UI frameworks out there in the world, and Slate is definitely one where you have to do a lot of work to get anything done. It's like, I just want a button. Oh, okay, well, you got to add these like 4 or 5 different things, and then this has to work over here, and you're like, So it looks like we've got some different things going on here. So like if it's a box or a circle, then we have to actually like set the positions here. Because we're setting box position down here to this stuff, which doesn't really seem to matter too much. Just like rounding the position of the box, and then I mean, it's basically if it's a box, I want to have. If it's a box or a circle, I just want to set these things here, and I don't see why they're doing stuff all crazy. So why don't we just make a function real quick here? We're just going to call it void snap to number, and we'll just pass in like your number. And then we'll just do like our begin transaction, end transaction, and we'll also call snap to number. And we'll just pass in our number here. That way we're not doing all the insanity and copy pasting it too badly. Just some basics. Just looking if there's any scope controlled context stuff, because I would usually expect somebody to use some sort of scoped constructor destructor based transaction locking stuff, but that doesn't seem to be the case. So let's round these guys to the nearest integer, and then let's see if pos x mod number is greater than number times 0.5. And alright, so yeah, if pos x is greater than 0, it's going to be, we're going to add to it, I'm going to do minus equals. Yeah, so what's the modulo of a negative number? Alright, so the modulus of a negative number is going to be positive. We really need like a round 2. Let me see if there's anything in F math that just does this for us, because I don't want to have to go write a whole bunch of stuff. Yeah, I don't see them having a round to nearest integer function. So let's just make one real quick. I'm not going to add it to F math or anything like that. So basically, we're just going to say you want it snapped at 0.5? No, it's not a 0.5. It's the remainder and all that sort of thing. Because I'm not rounding to whole 1 or 0. I'm rounding to the nearest 10 or 50 or 25 or whatever. So Because this will snap it to, you know, the outside, and this will snap it to the inside. So that should get those, and then these guys are doing like, they're taking the top left, rounding that to an integer, and the bottom right, rounding that to an integer, and then they're recomputing the box positions and everything, which, so it's like this box position up here doesn't really do a whole hell of a lot for us. Yeah, and they don't have a ceil or a floor function that takes a, you know, a non-standard value. So what we want to do here is, again, it looks like we're just doing the exact same operation where we're just calling round to nearest.